Hey YouTube, it's Thomas here. So today I got my hands on a pair of transparent reference XL interconnect. Uh, Here on my other hand, I have the Siltech Princess interconnect, which I've done a video already. So for those who have not seen it, please go ahead and check it out. Now these interconnects are about close to 5,000 Canadian each, well, for pair when they were new, right? So I figure, you know what, it's probably a good idea to compare both of them and give you my impressions on them. Yes, I know it is crazy. Who would spend close to $5,000 on a pair of interconnects? Well, it's definitely not me, but this is definitely very interesting. So I borrowed it from my friend and let's give it a try. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you go, the Transparent Reference XL. This is the auto model, but still, I mean, you're still looking at about 4,000 when it was new. Boxy looking. I don't know what this thing is. Maybe it contains a lot of snake oil in it. I don't know. But you find that in most of the high-end interconnects, right? So here I have the transparent Super. I have the transparent musiclink. This is the basic model. And then you also have the Princess here. So one thing about these interconnects is that the end part, you can unscrew it, plug it to your device and screw it back so that the grip is very tight, which is great. Another thing is that they're directional. So for example, you have an arrow on it and you know that, okay, so this part has to go to the receiving end and the other part is from the source, right? So for example, if I were to connect this to from a DAC to a preamp, this side will be the preamp side and the other side will be the DAC side. Out of all the interconnects I've tried, the Siltech is the only interconnect that has two. Not one, but two. Interesting. Of course, once again, you have these, you can screw it, plug it in, and tighten it. Okay. The Siltech is a bit hard. Might be because of the insulation, not necessarily the material. When I say material, because some of them are made of coaxial, I think, cable, so it's very hard, right? But the transparent is definitely very soft, very easy to work with, which I like. Some of the interconnects I got are super hard and it's a pain in the butt to work with. This one's a bit hard. So I myself use the transparent Super, which I like a lot. They're more smooth sounding. They have the smooth sounding characteristic. The musiclink basic one is actually pretty good if you have very harsh speakers and you can't afford something like this, right? A bit roll off, which works really well with, let's say, Totem Forest or Dying Audios, and because some of their tweeters can be very bright. So this is pretty good for that. This is not as roll off as this, but very smooth, very good for high-end interconnects. But you know, the big question today we're going to talk about is how do these sound? So for those of you who have not seen my Siltech video, go check it out, because everything I said about the Siltech applies to the Transparent Reference XL. At this price range, you're expecting like the world, right? And in terms of smoothness, yeah, they're both about the same. I give the edge to the Siltech. In terms of controlling sibilance, very good, both fantastic. That's very important for me because a speaker sounds harsh. The reason why it sounds harsh, part of the reason actually, is that the S is pronounced as a Z. So when a singer sings something that has an S sound, if it sounds like a Z sound, that's when it gets a bit annoying, right? I noticed that with the cheaper interconnects, and it's it really showcased in, let's say, Dying Audios. Where the S sounds like a Z if you pair it with the wrong interconnects. With these, you don't have that problem. The singer coming out, stepping out, yes, both are equally good. I give the edge to the Siltech actually. Clarity, details, bass, they're equally good. What the transparent does better than the Siltech is that it's a bit more detailed, a bit more sharp. So with my monitor RS6, these are very harsh, not harsh, but these are bright speakers, right? With the wrong interconnect, they can sound harsh. It's metal dome, the tweeter is metal base, right? Metal dome. And with the Siltech, I can't tell that it's metal dome base, it's metal base. With the transparent, I can tell. There's a bit of, even though it's smooth, there's a bit of bite to it, right? It reminds me a bit of my other transparent cables. Like, I recognize it, it's familiar. The RS6 signature is there. With the Siltech, I can't. So when I plugged in the transparent cable, the first 5 minutes, I fire up my email. I email all my friends and say, you know what, I think I prefer the transparent because, you know, I hear that more detail, right? But also that bite, meaning that, you know, when the piano hits, when the guitar goes, there's more of a force coming to me. It's fun. It's, that's the word, it's more fun, right? Here's the thing though. 5 minutes is not enough to tell you if a pair of interconnect is good or not. For me, it takes time. I need to marinate it. I need to spend a few days with it to really form an opinion on it. So after the first hour, that harshness that I was enjoying, it's starting to bug me a little bit, right? But it's still fine. It's still okay because, as I said, it's a very smooth cable after all. So I spent a few days with it. I tried with vinyl, I tried with my turntable, different kind of song, right? Songs that have a lot of instrument tends to, not the word annoy, but tends to slightly annoy me when compared to, let's say, the Siltech, right? So after a few days, I plugged the Siltech back, and that's where I realized, okay, the Siltech is really more for me. I value smoothness above all without sacrificing detail. The transparent Siltech, there's no clear winner. It all depends on your speaker. So if you're using speakers like the RS6, I don't think anybody used this with the RS6, but any speakers that you're using that are bright and bright in nature, you would use the Siltech. Any speakers that are soft in nature, you will use the transparent. So I'm betting that if I were to put my Earthquake Titan here, that uses a soft tone tweeter, soft tone mid-range, the transparent will definitely be my preferred interconnects. But either one of them, it's fine. I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say that this, you know, with a musical instrument, this annoys me a bit. No, it's not. It's just that if I were to compare two $5,000 interconnect, then this one will win with the Monitor Audio RS6, while this one will probably win with my Titan speakers, right? So if you had Focals, for example, and if you have a choice between these two, I would choose this one because Focals are difficult to tame. They're a bit bright. So therefore there is no clear winner. It's just a question of what speakers you're matching them with. So before I finish, maybe I'll just add in, if you can't afford these and you do have bright speakers, there are other interconnects that you can use to tame your speakers, right? The downside to it is that you will lose details, unlike these interconnects, but you still can achieve a certain smoothness to it. So as you've seen in my previous videos, I'm a bargain hunter. I try to get the most for the least money. When I had the Totem Forest or any older dying audio, they were a bit bright, so I would use something like this, a musiclink transparent. These they're cheap. You can probably get them easily under $100, right? They're a bit roll off, which is what you need with harsh and bright speakers. The downside is that compared to this, you're going to lose details with these with these interconnects. So in the past, I would start, you know, a sound clip. I'll do a sound clip comparing both. But for copyright issue, what I'm going to do going forward is that I'll separate my sound clip with my main video, and I'll upload both at the same time. And that way, if YouTube asks me to take down the video, I can just take down the sound clip part. So stay tuned for the sound clip part.